Is Carr to the Saints a good sign for those Jets getting Aaron Rodgers? How you feeling about that?
I feel good. I just had to get my eardrum back from that last segment, but you know, I'm
Was that riveting television or what? How about that for some good debate?
I think, you know, I said this all along. As much as y'all try to say how much I love Derek Carr and,
We're just
I want
messing with you.
to walk down the aisle with Derek Carr.
Qualified, Molly. Let him speak.
We're messing with him.
It's all right. That's right. We're going to continue messing with him. We're going to continue messing with him every chance I get.
Aaron Rodgers is pretty, though. Aaron Rodgers is pretty. And when you pretty, I can wait. I'm not in a rush. So I can certainly see why the Jets would look and go, let's try to do everything within our power to bring in a veteran quarterback that got a lot of stuff still with a young team that if we had a quarterback a year ago could have put us in a position to really compete in the AFC. If they land Aaron Rodgers, the New York Jets are going to win the division, okay, because Buffalo is that window is closing on them fast. We know what New England is, and we don't know much about the health of Tua in Miami. But if the Jets somehow could land Aaron Rodgers, they're going to win the AFC East. Brees Hall comes back. They can bring in Bakhtiari if they need to. Not only can they do that, they also got the Garrett Wilson, a young receiver that Aaron Rodgers that has played enough professional football now that Aaron Rodgers doesn't have to teach a whole lot to. You look at Elijah Moore. You look at Sauce Gardner on the defensive side and Quentin Williams. He's got Nathaniel Hackett there as offensive coordinator. It's a match made in heaven. I know I mentioned Nathaniel Hackett. Don't think about Denver. Get Denver out your mind. Don't think about Denver. He was in over his head. But when he has a competent quarterback in Aaron Rodgers that he trusts and Aaron Rodgers trusts him, they can be on the same page. There's not a huge learning curve. But if I'm the New York Jets, I'd have told Derek Carr whatever they told him, you probably should sign with New Orleans. If that's what happened, of course. Because Aaron Rodgers is pretty, man.
Well, I'm going to say this. I can relate to the pretty part. I really can.
Oh, you like that metaphor?
I can relate to that. That's number one. Let me throw that out there. Number two, you know, it's really interesting, Keyshawn, because, I mean, knowing football the way that you do, and you are a true expert, make no mistake about that, I pay attention to what you leave out, not what you bring in. I pay attention to what you leave out, okay? That's what I do, right? And so, you know, listen, is it possible, and I'm just speculating, it's just speculation, that's all it is. I'm just speculating. Is it possible that this whole deal, I mean, are we sure Aaron Rodgers is going to go to New York?
No, we're not sure.
Is he going to retire? You know, or is he going to stay?
Retire.
Now check this out. And if he doesn't, then he stays in Green Bay. Because see, the road to prosperity, one could argue, is much easier in the NFC. You see, if I'm in the NFC, I got Dak Prescott, Brock Purdy, and now Derek Carr to worry about. Okay, that's entirely different than Josh Allen, a healthy Tua Tagovailoa, which is asking a lot, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, you know, and Patrick Mahomes, of course, with Justin Herbert, and now Russell Wilson that got Sean Payton to lean on. I'm just saying, if I'm Aaron Rodgers, the road to prosperity is far more difficult in the AFC than it would be if he remained in the NFC. Now, here's where it gets interesting to me. If you Aaron Rodgers, and I understand Green Bay is Green Bay, and if you're listening to Mad Dog Russo and them, you know, the Green Bay Lombardi, you know, the Lombardi Trophy and all of this other stuff, the home of Vince Lombardi, forget all that. In today's day and age, if you that dude, and you resurrect a Jets franchise in the New York market, I mean, it could do wonders for the legacy of an Aaron Rodgers if he were to pull off something like that. So I think it comes down to that. Are you looking at the road to prosperity being easier in Green Bay, or the bigger payoff if you succeed by coming to the New York market with the Jets in the AFC? I think that's what it comes down to.
2 years, Stephen A.
I agree, and he's come up short. And he's come up short. No question.
So he's not running from the other quarterbacks. It's just that when you look at the other quarterbacks in the AFC, for instance, there's been guys that are young, that is ascending, no question about it. But I'm Aaron Rodgers. So I should be able to walk right in and hit the ground running.
Okay, he's Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers lost in the playoff game to Jimmy Garoppolo last year. And lost the last game to Jared Goff in Detroit.
I understand that.
Prevented going to the playoffs.
So it's not easier in the NFC. So it doesn't really matter. Now, how? And you just lost twice when you had the number 1 seeds.
I'm just saying the road is much harder in the AFC, bro. Those quarterbacks you got to go up against.
It might be harder. It might be. We also thought the AFC West was going to be a juggernaut of a division. How did that work out?
You know, he does live down in Miami, and he has been putting out pictures of his cats. But are you buying that he could unretire again?
No, I'm not. And I don't want to see him unretire. And I don't believe he's unretiring. Typically, when you announce you retire, right? Then you go on a couple weeks, whatever, then you change your mind. The fact that he put in his paperwork, you don't put in your paperwork and then unretire. You just don't do it. Look, I don't want to see him back on the field. There's nothing more he can do for his career and his legacy. Nothing. It's time now for him to go ahead and enjoy his kids, see them grow up, enjoy whatever activities they're in, and do whatever he wants to do beyond football. I get it. Rumors. It's the rumor season right now. This is hot topics, but no, I don't think Tom Brady's unretiring at all. Sorry, just don't.
I don't believe he is either, Key. But here's what I find intriguing, what I think everybody should realize why it should be intriguing. If you are a quarterback and you believe you can still throw the football, it doesn't get much better than having Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle available to you. That's number one. Number two, if there was any truth to this, and I'm not questioning what Rich Eisen has heard or anything like that, that's my man. I know and love Rich Eisen for years. It's not about that. What I'm saying is, if you're hearing stuff like that, it can only be one reason, and that is the health of Tua Tagovailoa is so suspect, and it is such a concern for the Miami Dolphins, that you're anticipating possibly not having him available. And I think that's something that we all have to consider for just a moment. The man has had 3 concussions that we know of just this past year alone. That was a damn concussion against Buffalo in Miami, where he shouldn't have been playing 4 days later against the Cincinnati Bengals when he was carted off the field and hospitalized, and how nasty that it looked like rigor mortis kicked in the minute he went to the ground. And then weeks later when he came back, he actually played a full game, finished the game, walked off the field, and then that following Monday and Tuesday, it was announced he was concussed. And he was held out. So that's 3 separate occasions in the same season where, he obviously had concussions. I just got off the phone. I did for my podcast, No Mercy. I just interviewed Nick Saban, Keyshawn, and he'll be on there. It'll be posted tomorrow. And obviously, he's rooting for his former player, but there's no question he has concerns because he saw what happened to Tua on a football field. So if I'm hearing anything about Tom Brady, it's not that I'm thinking about Tom Brady. I'm thinking about what's up with Tua. Because if you had faith that Tua could play, you ain't thinking about Tom Brady, not after the way you saw Tua connecting with those receivers when he was healthy and on the field, based off of what you saw in comparison to what you saw from Tom Brady when he was on the field this year. You ain't thinking about Tom Brady unless you're thinking about the fact that you may not have Tua for this upcoming season. That's where my mind went.
Yeah, no, the Tua situation, of course, they would be monitoring that. They got decisions to make on his 5th-year option come May. But on top of that, if you're the Miami Dolphins, do you really want to admit that you tried to get Tom? You already lost the first-round pick messing around with Tom Brady. Do you really want to admit to all the things that went on in Miami over the last several years? Do you really want to? Now you going out there and trying to court Tom Brady, although this is a different coaching staff, it still is the owner in the organization. I don't know if they want to be doing that. I don't know if they want to just admit to the rest of the owners that, yeah, we actually were trying to get Tom. Now we got a chance to go get him. Yeah.
I don't know.
Fair enough.
Sounds like a perfect situation for Tom. Let it come.
Wait. Tom Brady doesn't need football to be in Miami.
Man, Tom better just chill, man. Enjoy life.
That's right. He doesn't need football to be in Miami. He could be in Miami anytime he wants, for as long as he wants.
Gentlemen, I was just saying, I think it's a good situation. That's it.
I'm sure you
didn't
do.
need the rebuttal. That was my tag.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.